Hey there, good looking. Join me for some yummy stretches with extra emphasis on our posture muscles. And if you're doing this in real time, this is our rest and recovery day, day 6 of the Strong and Sassy Challenge. Now, no tools are required for this. However, if you do have a couple of yoga blocks, we will be using those, or I'll show you how you can use those. And if you have one of those foam chip yoga blocks that you want to sit on, or a pillow just to pop your hips up on for the first couple of poses, I recommend that as well. All right, let's get started. Hi there. We're going to start seated. So if you have, as I mentioned, a yoga chip block or a pillow, you might want to place that underneath the hips. It is a little more comfortable. And then I just want you to find an easy seated position. And let your shoulders rest. Hands can rest on the tops of your thighs. Maybe close your eyes. Elongate the spine. Slide the chin in slightly. Let's just take a few breaths here in this position. Taking it in through the nose, filling the belly, the lungs, even the back. And then exhale through the mouth. 2 more breaths. In through the nose. And as we do so, we're not lifting the shoulders to the ears. Feeling that chest expand. And exhale. Last breath. Inhale through the nose. And release. Just return to an easy breathing pattern for you. Bring the eyes open, soft gaze. Settling in here into a neck stretch and just mirroring me, bringing the ear towards the shoulder and then walking this hand out to really lengthen down that side of the neck. Now, if you want to take it a bit more, you can give a gentle pull, making it gentle though. Just breathing into the side of the neck. Let's release the hand and circle the chin towards the chest till we line the other ear up with the shoulder and then walk that hand out. And perhaps you wanted to take it a bit deeper. We're just gently pulling on the head, not shifting the whole body. And to center. Now from here, look over your right shoulder, leading with the chin, and we're stretching these little muscles, the side front neck called the scalenes, and then really kind of jut your chin forward. And to center. So I'm almost trying to bring my lower jaw ahead of my upper jaw. So let's try this side. So you're going to look up and over and then push the jaw forward. And to center. Bring the hands, fingertips behind you. Lift the chest up for a gentle chest opener. When we think posture, we think upper back, don't we? But in fact, we need to also be thinking of stretching the front of the body. The pecs, the front shoulder, they can get quite tight, causing rounded shoulders. So while we do want to strengthen the upper mid-back, we also want to stretch, release, elongate the front of the body. 2 more breaths. And coming into cat-cow. Wrists under shoulders, knees apart underneath the hips. You can take this as extreme in your range as you want. So you could take it gentle or really let the belly drop, head looks up. And then exhale, push the ground away, tuck the tailbone under. Your goal with this is to try to really move through the spine and through the shoulder blades. And last one. Find neutral. Rotate the fingertips so that they're pointed towards your knees, and then just shift your body weight side to side, working into the wrists and stretching into the forearms. Pause it in the center. Now shift your body weight back and forward. So when you go back, you'll feel quite a stretch on the forearm flexors. Trying to keep the full pad of your palm still on your mat. And now let's just sit back and hold it. Arms stay straight and breathe. Release. Coming into Sphinx. Elbows under shoulders, palms flat, lower down, and ears away from shoulders. This is such a nice extension, gentle extension for our low back. Pulling those shoulder blades together a bit. Lowering down, making sure we don't have any blocks in our way, lining our hands up with our shoulders, palms down. Lift your left leg up, roll onto that right side. Try to bring the left foot towards the right hand. It's not going to happen, but do your best. Well, maybe it could happen, but if it does, gosh, good for you. Bring your hand in front, push yourself back so you're rolling onto that back arm. And then we're going to walk this top leg back a bit. So here we get a double whammy. We get into the hip flexor, into the quad, and then into that back arm, into the pec, that tight shoulder that could potentially cause that rounding shoulder pattern with our posture. And to center. Set up for the other side. Arm extends. Palm down, lined up with the shoulder. Pick that right foot up now. Roll onto that left arm. Right hand comes in front of the chest now, pushing into the ground so we can roll and make that stretch maybe a bit deeper for that left shoulder while we pick up that foot and walk it towards that left hand. And to center. Sitting back into wide-legged child's pose. And you can have your hands underneath your chin, your forehead, or extend them out. Wherever you kind of feel you need to be. We're just going to settle into our back heels here. Just let our chest drop on our thighs. Couple more breaths. And coming out of it into a hip flexor stretch. If you have your blocks, we'll bring them close by. And then we'll start with the left knee underneath the hip. Step the right one forward. You're going to lunge into it a little bit, tightening that left glute to stretch into the hip flexor. Now let's take this arm and walk it down the back to get into our shoulder and tricep and then lean away. And you want some extension with your spine on this as well. And then staying in this lunge position for our hamstring stretch, but maybe we add a block to each side of the leg, lengthen that right leg and hinge forward. So I really find building the ground up for this hamstring type of hamstring stretch better for most people. So if you've got something to build your ground up, if you don't have yoga blocks, I really recommend it. We're just going to hold here for a few breaths. Pull the shoulders down and away, sinking the hips back while we also hinge forward. Set up for the other side. Let's start with the hip flexor. So bring that left leg in front now. Right knee lines up underneath the hip. Lunge forward and then extend back. Right hand in between the shoulder blades, walk it down, and then lean away from that right hip at the same time as we extend back. Release the hands, place them on the block, extend that left leg, and maybe even shoot it forward a bit. Toe up to the ceiling. Now we push the hips back while we also hinge forward. As you hold a stretch, maybe your body will allow you to go a bit deeper as you hold it. Always recognizing, though, that that might not be your goal for today. So just honor what your body's looking for and continue with that. Release. Come on to seated position. Back, the hands are behind you. Left ankle crosses over right leg. And then let's walk that right foot towards the bum as we push our chest towards our shin. Now flex that left foot to protect that knee. This is a variation of a figure 4 stretch as well as a variation of pigeon pose in yoga. The closer your foot is to your bum, the more intense the stretch, so you can adjust accordingly. But it's a really nice little hip opener. And then we're going to add some movement to it. So I just want you to take that right leg and just windshield wiper it a little bit. So that's going to pull on this left leg. And then let's hold it quiet for 2 breaths. And bend the elbows, walk that foot out a bit, release it. Other side, flex that right foot now. Walk the left foot in towards the bum. And start out a little gentle. You may be tighter on one side than the other. So. And then let's add some movement. So we just a little gentle windshield wiper with that left leg now. And that's just going to pull on that right leg and into that right hip. And let's hold it still. 2 breaths here. Bend the elbows, walk the foot out, release the leg. Lying on your back, bring your insoles together for a nice gentle butterfly stretch. Hands can rest on the belly or maybe on the ground beside you. As you walk your heels towards your bum, you might feel more of a stretch in that inner thigh if that's what you're looking for. Lift the head up now and slide the chin in, and let's lengthen the back of the neck. Just going to spend a couple of breaths in this position. So if you'd like to close your eyes, I encourage it. Maybe hands on belly, you can feel that breath underneath the fingers. Every inhalation, the belly rising. Every exhale, the belly lowering. We'll finish the video here, but I encourage you to stay here for as long as you feel it. If you need to just rest for a little longer, please do so. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in our next workout together. Namaste.